Okay, it's another week, and we've had 3 grand arenas. We're going to have a look. We're going to just see how I got on. Okay, so as you can see here, we've got 3 grand arenas currently going on, and I will touch on one of them in a moment. But for the meantime, let's just actually have a look at the previous round because, yeah, let's start with Temin first of all. So Temin, we had a good win against Boya. We followed up with a loss against Revanok, and then we got a final round win against the Dude. So I'm looking at my offense here for a start, and I would say against Boya we did okay. I mean, Wampa let me down again. Wampa is becoming a bit of a frustration for me. I've taken him in a few times in GA, and I really need Relic levels and the Omicron to really feel like I'll be safe to use him. But yeah, we kind of got through. I mean, we managed to get to a point here where we could use a dash, an Ewok team to take out these, but obviously the Ewok struggled against Nest. We were then able to clean up with some Rogue One mishmash, so it wasn't bad in the end. We did get through. It was a messy win, that's the best way I can describe it. Yeah, we even had to 2-shot a fleet. So yeah, I wasn't particularly proud of this. I think we got through on virtue of this opponent here not wanting to attack much. Yeah, he managed to get through my BAM team with imps. He did a BAM team of his own against Mon Mothma. I would say it was a bad idea. At least with my Mon Mothma team. And then, yeah, JKR against Droids, CLS against my Dengar. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, and I think he then struggled against my Darth Revan, so yeah, I kind of feel sorry in a way. I mean, it overkilled my Atbar. Wow. I mean, that is taking things safe, it's got to be said. I mean, that Atbar, I mean, I love my Atbar, Omicron, and my Relics, but boy, you could have thrown that anywhere else and probably got away with that still. Yeah, and he really left himself short then for Mon Mothma, so very interesting, very interesting. Yeah, sorry, I haven't actually looked at these. This is just me going through them. So I'm quite pleased to have my defense held, but I think we can see that my opponent didn't really plan well. Now, what I would say, I didn't plan well here. So as you can see, we're going through the board. Everything's going well. 1-shots and a plenty. And then I dropped a battle on fleet. I took in Empire for a mirror match. That was a bad idea. My Empire is not ready. So I was able to clean up the next one with, the own 1 fleet with Negotiator. Now, I'm still on the fence if I could have afforded to take on the take on these rebels with these GOs. I think it would have been a big ask considering that the Empire beat the Geonosians, but maybe. It all depends how the start went. But yeah, I wouldn't say I was hopeful there. Either way, it was a lesson learned here. If I don't need to put home 1 on defense, don't. Because what I will say, Revanok, he actually got in touch afterwards via a guildmate. Very nice by all accounts. Brief conversation, mind. But yeah, I'm going to say he did his part, cleared everything pretty efficiently. He did say though he tripped up on my back wall. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that's pretty embarrassing on my side. But yeah, he took down my Piet quite comfortably, to be honest. I really wish I'd met him a week later, because at 7-star I'm not sure that counter would have worked. But yeah, I look at his malevolence, I think, okay, fair enough, that's clean counter, no begrudging that. But yeah, he got to the back wall and he just couldn't beat my JML. So I take some pride from that. I think, okay, I mean, I'm a bit surprised his imps couldn't clean it up, in fairness. That's a nice, pleasant hold. But, yeah, I just look at this and I go, it's a case of what could have been. And I'm pretty certain if I'd have kept home 1 for offense and put Empire down, he'd have still beat the Empire, but I would have beaten his Empire. And then I would have won based on the fact he couldn't clear my JML. So, a little bit of annoyance on my part there. It's the fine decisions that sometimes cost you a GA, and we're going to see that with the last round I've just played. So, yeah, finally week 3 here, the Dude. yeah, this was pretty comfortable in the end. You wouldn't think it based on the score. You know, he was only about 300 behind. But if we just skip to the defense, he did quite well on offense, we're going to be honest. He did trip up on my nuke team a bit, which, to be honest, a lot of people do, so there's no shame in that. Just skimming down, because the one that caught my eye was Fleet, I believe. Yeah, once again, Fleet held. I do feel sorry for people when they haven't got a counter to Executor. I mean, I'm going to start putting 7-star down, and if you haven't got one, I apologise, because it's going to be rough for you. But how I view it, what the heck was that team? I think he just threw everything he got left and said, right, have that. But yeah, it's like, I do feel kind of sorry, because it's like, if you haven't got something to beat it, it does feel quite deflating. But the same could be said of a GL. You know, if you haven't got a GL, you can't beat it. What can you do? So it's a little bit of sympathy. But we all have these problems. We all have to get through them. I'm kind of glad that Cat was on offense. I didn't fancy facing her. But yeah, that was last week for timing. Still kicking myself a bit at round 2, like I say. But by and large, I think we did all right. I mean, on offense, did a slip up? I can't remember offhand. That was it. Wampa again letting me down. Only reason I took this team, and I thought Plo would have the chance to dispel stealth so that Wampa could get a Princess Leia. Downside is Rolo's AoE just bombarded me a bit too quick. So I should have taken that in first time. That would have been an easier team to use, and then I would have had Wampa somewhere else. But we did manage to get through. Night Sisters beat Bad Batch, which was a pleasant surprise. So then we had some okay battles there. So yeah, all in all, timing's week was okay. Could have been better, but I'm not that upset. Then Crimson. Crimson had a bye week, so I'm not really going to talk too much about Crimson in this case. I mean, as you can see, I threw a few things at a Lord Vader that was auto-set, cleaned up the back wall, tried one more against Lord Vader and actually took out Crew, so I was pleased about that. But yeah, not much to be said about this one, even though the guy he got a 9 million account to my 5.1, so yeah, the auto-set was tricky and he still had enough to clear my defense, but he didn't turn up. Again, Outblaster didn't turn up, but we did our job. And same with Mr. Burrito. I don't really know what to add, unfortunately. I mean, it's one of those where you look at them and you think, I did my bit. I can't really say much more because, yeah, if I do my bit, then that's all I can do. Alright, finally, JJ. JJ had a pretty simple week again. I think it was a... What was my score this week, sorry? 2 and 1. So again, not a bad week for JJ. We got promoted from Chromium 3 to Chromium 2 anyway. A lot of simple counters this round. Bad Batch did me good there against Bounty Hunters. If I remember right as well, that was Zam Omicron and there was some speed in it, so I was glad Bad Batch were able to regain control. But yeah, I ran out of steam. I couldn't beat an Ewok team with my Night Sisters. That's galling. We managed to clean up Fleet, so that was something. We got the win there. What held for me? Ah, okay, okay, it didn't hold. I misread that for a second. Alright, Alter Ego didn't attack. I lost... Oh, saying that, I think yeah, that was it. He only set 2 defenses. He set 2 teams up top, and the embarrassing thing is I lost to the CLS, but yeah, he only set 2 teams. I beat them both, so I got max banners. Pretty much. Very weird. And then Cannon Jack here. He's the only guy who got a win. I did try and DM him, but he declined the invitation, so say la vie on that. Bad Batch let me down there. A little bit disappointing. My Echo's a bit quicker now, so hopefully I could win that match in the future. Still need to get tech a bit higher as well. We got through that at least. Gas against DR. GG beat the GOs. JKR beat, cleaned up the GG. Trouble is then, I ain't got enough for Gas or for Hera. So, yeah, that's a case of what could have been. I think if my Bad Batch were a bit further along, they wouldn't have had a problem with that GG team. So it's all about gear levels at that point. And on defense, this guy did his job. Yeah, I find that a bit weird. I wouldn't really take him past the lead, but hey-ho. That is a bit galling as well. You know, the entire idea of Aiden's team is that you're meant to be able to counter CLS, so even though it's low gear, I respect that. I'm not being too antsy about it. Low gear and stars, I'll add. It's kind of galling that someone went in with the team it's meant to counter. But yeah, like I say, I can't begrudge him. He did well on offense. So yeah, pretty simple week there. The only thing we're going to add with 10 minutes remaining is I've had my first confirmed result, because if we're back out on Temin and JJ, I'm going to say if we're back out on both of them, we haven't had an attack on either yet, so they're going to shut down for a bit here. Well, I'll minimise them. But yeah, over here on Crimson, we have had our first result of the week, and it was against Raxel Alucard. And yeah, this guy did well. I feel like I misplaced defense a bit, but I also think I misplayed on offense. So you're going to see it on the live stream next week, so I won't spoil too much. But it's safe to say my nuke did its job. Unfortunately, the whole point of doing that front wall failed me. Yeah, I put DR and gas at the back, neither held. Yeah, like I say, you'll see the video on Monday next week, so you'll get the idea. But I did get in touch with the guy. This guy did actually respond, so I appreciate it. I found it a bit amusing though. He said, I thought I would walk through you. You know, I thought, alright, you've won, fair enough, you don't need Ruppiton. But in fairness, 7 million to my 5, maybe that's where he was coming from. But I was a little bit offended, you know, I'm like, come on, I'm actually in Kyber 3 with you, you know, there's a reason we're together. But yeah, I laughed it off, but it was just funny reading it. But yeah, for the full match, you can see what happened on offense and why things panned out how they did. You'll see that on Monday's video, or the Monday VOD. If you're there with me on the stream, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm going to say we've got an interesting week ahead, let's say that. There's always interesting GAs, but I'm looking forward to it. I think I need to repair some damage here, and speaking of which, let me bring that back full screen a second. Let's just do this live while I'm thinking about it. So, I've been saying it all along, that for every loss I get, I will rallic up an Ewok. Paplu is the flavour of the month right now, so here you go, Paplu. Okay, so yeah, considering I'm at the end of my JMK farm, I say the end because Mace is the only one who needs gear. It is painful doing that. I'm kind of grateful last week was almost pretty much a buy. So yeah, I don't really want to give you any more relics this week, Paplu, so please don't ask me. But yeah, that is it for this video. It's only generalised thoughts. It's essentially me just reviewing my GA history, explaining what I think went wrong, what I did right. So maybe a few more wrongs there than maybe rights, but let me know what you think. Maybe I could have been a bit more detailed about what I did right on offense. Maybe I could show more as far as actual battles that went right. Let me know in the comments. But other than that, see you folks. Bye for now.